Burnt Basque Cheesecake is the easiest cheesecake you'll ever make. It doesn't require a crust, a water bath, or a slow and even temperature. This cheesecake is hit with high heat to toast and caramelize those flavors, leading to one of the most delicious desserts. Welcome to Recipes by Karina, where I share with you how to make classic and simply delicious recipes. Make sure to subscribe or follow my page for a new recipe each week. We're first going to start off with the cream cheese. I recommend Philadelphia here, or one that doesn't have any emulsifiers or stabilizers in the ingredients list, as I find those lead to curdling. Make sure your cream cheese is at room temperature and add it to the bowl. You'll need 675 grams, 24 ounces, or about 3 bars. You'll notice I give the recipe amounts in metric and imperial, cups, grams, and ounces. So no matter where you live in the world, you should find this recipe easy enough to follow. To the cream cheese, we're going to add some white sugar to sweeten it up. You'll need 1 1/4 cups or 250 grams. If you would like the full recipe for this cheesecake, it will be on my website as well as the full measurements listed in the description box below. You can make this cheesecake using a stand mixer or a hand mixer. Turn the machine on to low to medium speed and beat the cream cheese and sugar together for a few minutes or until the sugar has dissolved and the cream cheese has softened and whipped. While that's happening, we're going to prep the cake pan. This recipe uses an 8-inch or 20cm spring-form cake pan. You can use a bigger cake pan if that's all you have. Just keep an eye on the cooking time as it may cook quicker. Springform is easiest here for removing the cheesecake in one piece as it can be very delicate. Coat your pan with either butter or non-stick spray, just something to help the paper stick. Place a length of non-stick paper in the cake pan, folding it down so it sits in comfortably, with a good amount of excess paper at the top. Spray another layer of non-stick spray, or use butter and repeat this process, but with the baking paper facing the other way so all sides of the cake pan are well covered. This can sound a little confusing to explain, but you want a good amount of paper at the top on all sides as the cheesecake is going to rise up, so it needs something to hold it in place. Set the pan to the side until we need it. This is definitely the recipe to try if you've never made a baked cheesecake before. Many have so many steps of making the crust, baking it, making the filling, and using the water bath method in the oven, so the cheesecake bakes as evenly as possible. This recipe goes against all of that, and somehow it works perfectly, and I would say better than most other cheesecakes. At this point, your cream cheese and sugar should be well combined. Turn the mixer off and using a spatula or wooden spoon scrape down the edges of the bowl to get any of that mixture that hasn't yet been combined. Turn the mixer back on to low speed. Next we'll need 4 large or 5 medium-sized room temperature eggs. If you store your eggs in the fridge, just remove them about 30 minutes to an hour before you start baking, or place them in a bowl of warm water for 10 minutes or so until they no longer feel cold. Using a small bowl, crack 1 egg in at a time. With the mixer still running on low, add the egg in and wait for it to be fully incorporated before repeating the process with the next 3. The cheesecake mixture should thin out completely, turning a deeper shade of yellow with each egg added. This cheesecake will serve about 12 people depending on how large you cut the slices. It can be made the day before or the morning before you want to serve it. The cheesecake can be served straight out of the fridge or completely at room temperature. It kind of changes consistency with both. More set and custard-like out of the fridge, but more airy, soft and cloud-like at room temp. I think it's best at room temperature and will take a good 4 hours to completely cool once removed from the oven. You can make it the night before and store it in the fridge. Just make sure to pull it out about an hour or so before you want to serve it. After you've added the last egg and it's been fully incorporated, turn the mixer off and using the wooden spoon or spatula, scrape down the edges of the bowl again. There will usually be little bits of cream cheese around the edges and right down the bottom of the bowl that haven't been fully incorporated with the egg yet. It's really important to get those now so we don't end up with a lumpy cheesecake. Turn the mixer back onto low to combine, then measure out your cream. We'll need 1.5 cups of cream here, or 375 ml. I get questions a lot about which type of cream you should be using. There are many different names for cream depending on where you live, but most recipes you want to be using the same type of cream you would use if you were going to whip it. This will usually have about 35% fat and can be called double cream, heavy cream, and whipping cream. I'm not sure if this recipe would work substituting some milk for cream or using something like coconut cream because I haven't tried it. The best advice I can give you is give it a try and let me know your thoughts. Pour the cream into the bowl followed by the vanilla. For this cheesecake there are a couple different flavours that really work perfectly, vanilla and lemon. I would say choose your favourite. Traditional is no flavour, but I personally find this a little bland. The vanilla or lemon will really make it pop rather than feeling a little heavy. You want 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence or 1 teaspoon of lemon juice and about 1 teaspoon of lemon zest if you're going to use the lemon flavour. Turn your mixer back onto medium speed and combine the ingredients together. The last 2 ingredients we need are flour and salt. Turn the mixer off and measure out 1/4 cup of standard or all-purpose flour. Since this is the smallest amount of flour, just to help bind the cheesecake together and give it a little more structure as it bakes, you can of course easily substitute this with a gluten-free flour. I would use one that you've had success with in the past to make other substitutes so you know how it works. Add the flour to the bowl followed by a large pinch or 1/2 teaspoon of salt. The salt will really help to balance out the cheesecake. Turn the mixer back onto low for about 20 seconds just until the flour has combined. Remove the bowl from the mixer and using a wooden spoon or spatula, scrape down the edges and give it a final mix to make sure there are no lumps of flour that haven't been incorporated. Pour your cheesecake batter into the prepared cake pan and bake at 210 degrees Celsius or 410 degrees Fahrenheit for about 55 minutes or until browned and the cheesecake still has a jiggle to it. It's hard to get the perfect temperature here as every oven cooks differently. You'll find that some ovens will produce way more colour to the cheesecake than others just by where the element is or the accuracy of the temperature. I think 210 or 410 works just about perfectly, but if you do make this a second or third time, you can of course get the temp even more perfect for your oven. Remove the cheesecake from the oven. It'll be pretty puffy here and you want a good amount of jiggle. As it cools, it'll compress down and set up in the middle. Definitely don't remove the sides of the cake pan until it's fully cooled, as you'll find your cheesecake will start to flatten out, seeping down the edges. After about 3 to 4 hours, when you can no longer feel any warmth from the cake pan, check the bottom for more accuracy. Remove the sides of the pan. Pull the paper down from the sides of the cake and it's ready to serve. Use a hot knife to get perfect cuts of your Burnt Basque cheesecake. Serve it on its own or fresh berries and strawberry sauce work perfectly. Somehow this cheesecake just works. All the bits that you think are overcooked and burnt taste perfectly caramelized. It has a light, soft and fluffy texture, nowhere near as dense as you would imagine. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to try out this recipe and you have any other questions. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Pinterest for more delicious recipes. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video.